Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get this centered over here. Probably not the best shirt. But good morning, everyone. Welcome to July. Welcome to July 4th holiday week. Welcome to a new month. Host for this pre-market prep session and every pre-market prep session. Adam Holland, stock options X straw poking in there. Good morning, Carla. Hope everybody had a nice, restful, restorative weekend. Throw a two in the chat if you're happy to be here, to be alive today, to be ready to dive into the opportunity that we have available. It is definitely going to be a short week. It's a holiday week. So in terms of what that means for markets and what that looks, we'll be closing at 1 p.m. today, and then it is closed for July 4th tomorrow. So make sure you've got that kind of factored into your plans, as well as kind of, I feel like you've already got holiday plans or whatever you got going on. But yeah, we'll be closing today early, which is nice. And then we'll have tomorrow off. In terms of holiday weeks and how you want to think about them, it's kind of the normal spiel that you get from me, the normal insider nuggets that you kind of get used to, but are really, really valuable. The fact in which normally we do finish higher, right? Finish green on holiday weeks. It's always something to pay attention to. Of course, whatever contracts you have, theta is going to affect them a little bit more because, we've got tomorrow where the market's closed. So you won't really be able to do anything with that. So make sure that you are just carefully factoring that into all of your trade plans and all of your opportunities that you're trying to take advantage of. But good morning. Let's go ahead and dive in to what we have going on today. I'm going to pull up what to expect out of the week ahead. Let's see here. And then also go into what we've got going on this specific Monday. So this is Monday news. Let's go to our week ahead news. Okay. All right. So diving into this, economic releases covering construction spending, factory orders, and initial jobless claims will be sandwiched around the 4th of July holiday before the June jobs report lands on the laps of investors on July 7th. Economists forecast 213,000 jobs were added during the month, and for the unemployment rate to dip to 3.6% from 3.7%. Average hourly earnings are forecast to be 0.3% month over month and 4.2% year over year. Major banks will also be watched closely next week after the group passed the Federal Reserve stress test that simulated a severe recession. Analysts expected dividends to be increased by most large banks, but share repurchases are expected to be relatively subdued in the near term until the direction of the economy becomes more clear. Bank of New York, Mellon, ticker BK, JP Morgan Chase, ticker JPM, Bank of America, who's BAC, Wells Fargo, WFC, Goldman Sachs, GS, Morgan Stanley, MS, Truist Financial, TFC, Citigroup, whose ticker is C as in cat, and State Street, whose ticker is STT, are some of the banks in the spotlight for capital allocation developments. Senior Alpha analyst Logan Kane thinks that while large banks are likely to weather the storm, dozens of smaller banks may fail over the next 12 to 18 months due to risky real estate loans and falling deposits. A light week of calendar events means that Apple's dalliance with the $3 trillion market cap and Tesla's Q2 deliveries report could attract outsized attention. For anybody that missed it, Tesla debuted their Q2 deliveries report, and they absolutely knocked it out of the park. Not surprising, right, given what we've talked about and what we've kind of been on in terms of that wave with Tesla. Whenever you have technicals that happen, news just kind of falls in your lap to back up the technicals. So we've been long-term bullish Tesla for a while, and this news just, kind of further facilitating that long-term bullish sentiment that we have with them. So Tesla should be nice and green this morning. A lot of things should be, despite SPY finishing and closing at that daily resistance level. A lot of things, especially a lot of techs, closed in good spots. So, we'll see if we see that sentiment continue today. It is a short week. So on short weeks, you can get low volume, right? A lot of the institutional money is taking the day off. They're hanging out, chilling in the Hamptons. So you're not really going to see maybe a whole lot of a big volume here this week, considering that today's a short day and tomorrow is the 4th. But we are likely to finish, green by the end of the week, just based off of what history tells us. But yeah, we got some good news there for Tesla over the weekend. Nice bullish news here, right? This translates directly to dollars for our long call Tesla positions as well as our long shares, right? So shares of Tesla, long calls of Tesla, everything looking good there. Let's see. Do we have anything else in terms of the economic calendar? I want to know the exact things that we have going on this week. It looks like for the third, we get ISM manufacturing and construction spending at 10 a.m. So that is kind of like one of the minor things that happens during market hours that can affect how we move. It's not anything like unemployment data or something huge, but it typically can cause some type of like 1 minute pop or drop. And then typically whatever move we get after that initial candle is the real move. And then again, we've got all markets closing early. So markets closing at 1 p.m. today. Again, for anyone who does not know, that is kind of the July 4th schedule. Yeah, Vivian says they're up big this morning. Yeah, beautiful, right? Translates directly into dollars for us when you're positioned in the right spot. Luck can find you, right? Luck is just preparation, meeting opportunity. Sorry, we might be lagging a bit here because I got Thinkorswim loading in the background. Luck is just preparation, meeting opportunity. So when you have your preparation and you've already gone about doing what you need to do in order to be ready for an opportunity for you make money. So again, you make your own luck as well. And that's one of the beautiful things. Once you put in the work on your side, we had Tesla closing above hourly resistance as well on Friday. So a lot of things, even though they weren't necessarily going crazy, they were closing above areas that they needed to close above, which is huge, right? Which is very, very important. And then there are some, still that haven't even broken out yet. I mean, we look at Amazon, something to watch here with that whole kind of 131.50 area, 131 to 131.50 area. They've been topping out there, but, nice bull flag short term, as well as on some higher time frames, right? It's been bull flagging on top of a previous breakout. So Amazon, can start to push. It's been kind of consolidating above that 131 area, 131.50 area. Amazon can most definitely push. But yeah, I mean, Tesla as of right now should be close to probably testing previous daily highs. Yep. So we gapped up testing that previous daily high there on Tesla. But yeah, we were bull flagging right on top of previous hourly resistance on Tesla on Friday. So call swings, a great look, whether they're short term or long term. And let's go ahead. Let's get back into because sometimes I get diverted. I get off schedule. So today we had ISM manufacturing and construction spending. July 4th, everything's closed. Wednesday, 8:15 a.m., we get ADP employment. We also get minutes from the Fed's June FOMC meeting at 2 p.m., right? So Wednesday, we get some important things going on. Thursday, July 6th, we have initial jobless claims. That's at 8:30 a.m. before market open. And then Friday, we get the U.S. unemployment rate and the employment report. So we've got some data in here, right? Some data tossed around this week. It is a short week. But we've got FOMC minutes, we've got jobless claims, we've got unemployment report, and we've got the employment report and the unemployment rate. So still a number of things, right? Little pieces of economic drops, right? Data drops on this calendar this week to look out for. Let's see. Anything else? Nothing really else in terms of the week ahead, right? It is a short holiday week, so we wouldn't expect it to see this packed full of stuff and full of events. It's crazy, right? The 1st of July, man. I mean, 2023 might set the record for just the fastest flying year. Top news: relief or responsibility. So the Supreme Court has overturned the Biden administration's student debt forgiveness plan in a 6-3 decision, ruling it exceeded the authority Congress granted to the executive branch. The plan, struck down on Friday, would have wiped all $430 billion in loans from the government's books, but there are already some alternatives that are in the making. The administration will pursue student debt relief through a longer route via the Higher Education Act, while other plans would allow low-income borrowers to pay smaller amounts on the balance of their loans over time, or put a temporary ban on penalties. So, kind of a blow to the Biden agenda there. Letter of the law, Chief Justice John Roberts said in the opinion, that while the Secretary of Education has the authority to waive or modify existing statutory or regulatory provisions applicable to financial assistance programs under the HEROES Act, statutes cannot be rewritten, quote, from the ground up. Earlier, the High Court had rejected the first of two challenges against President Biden's plan to cancel a portion of federal student loans as part of a COVID relief program. Writing the majority opinion, Justice Samuel Alito held that the plaintiffs did not have standing. That is, they failed to establish that they would suffer any injury from the loan forgiveness plan. Quote, this carries huge implications for inflation, consumer discretionary spending, and the distribution of wealth in the U.S., writes Seeking Alpha analyst Logan Kane. Analyzing winners and losers from the landmark ruling, the student loan debate also continues to take place among investors. Some say it would correct devious historical loan practices and support the broader economy, while others have flagged it as another contributor to high inflation or a measure that would hurt those who chose to not go to college because of the cost, don't have loans, or already paid them off. Now, what to watch? Related student loan stocks, including SoFi Technologies, Sallie Mae. So SoFi, their ticker is SoFi, SOFI. Sallie Mae, their ticker is SLM. Navient, whose ticker is NAVI, and Nelnet, whose ticker is NNI, have been jittery since the announcement by SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the U.S., right, United States. Once payments resume, the typical student loan payment will be between $210 to $314 per month, according to Wells Fargo. In terms of the entire portfolio, the Federal Reserve estimates that Americans owed $1.6 trillion in student loans as of the first quarter of 2023, with the average student loan debt around $38,000 per borrower. Now let's see here. Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on that. I know a ton of people have student loans or had student loans. I mean, I guess it's nice just from a human standpoint to not have to pay them back. I chose to go in-state, right? Went to UMD. Me going to college was actually the cheapest tuition cost of really everything for me since before elementary school. So yeah, I chose to do that. I was faced with a decision. I loved Bucknell. I don't know if you guys know Bucknell. It's a school out of Pennsylvania. Loved Bucknell. At the time, I was, thinking I was going to be a neurobiology major, and I was for a year. And I was like, I don't want to cut people open. But yeah, they had a great neurobiology program. I was like, oh, I want to go to Bucknell. And it was pretty much one of those things where it's like, oh, their tuition was like $60K. And then UMD's tuition is like 28 in state. So it was just one of those things. If it was 28 or 18, I don't know, something that was a lot smaller compared to what it would have been. And I was like, hey, in order to just ensure the fact that I'd never have to deal with student loan issues and, I'm just going to go where it's easiest to go. So it is something where I get it. People say, oh, well, I could have done this if, I didn't have to worry about paying back my student loans, or I could have done that, yada, yada, yada. We're dealt the hand that we're dealt, right? I'm not going to hate on anybody for getting a leg up because of something that they did, or it might be spontaneous, right? Or, I'm not going to complain about it, right? As long as you have a good life, just go about living that life. But yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where I'm not looking to actively trade any of those names like SoFi or, Sallie Mae. So it could end up being positive news for them, right? But as of right now, that hasn't been reflected by any of the price action that we've seen from them. So SoFi kind of had been pushing over the course of the past month, really along with kind of broader banks, right? Broader banks have been something that we have been watching. And after that stress test, we had a lot of things, kind of closing above daily resistance, a lot of those tickers that we had mentioned. And then we've got earnings coming up soon for these companies as well. So like middle of, right, when we get into end of July, we've got earnings coming up for a lot of different companies. The banks always lead the way. So that'll be something to keep an eye on there. But yeah, not really any major trading implications. Now, in terms of aviation news here, travel plans, smoky haze, hot weather, and storms. Many flights have been delayed or canceled over the past week in the U.S., posing some problems for travelers ahead of the 4th of July. United Airlines, ticker UAL, accounted for most of the flight cancellations but that didn't stop CEO Scott Kirby from hopping on a private jet to get out of the New York area. Just classic CEO style. He has since apologized, but unions representing airline staff have accused United's management of planning poorly and operating too many flights. Meanwhile, the Independence Day weekend is set to be the busiest on record, with 4.17 million Americans flying to their destinations, up 11.2% from 2022 and 6.6% from 2019. Ah, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. And it's really a lot of different airlines. Like before, it used to just be like, all right, don't fly Frontier because that's just kind of asking for something bad to happen, or don't fly Spirit or don't. And now it's literally all of them, right? So it's really like you can't kind of find a break. You're just rolling the dice. Delta, United, right? All of them are kind of struggling here with making sure that people get on flights, especially over the course of the past few weeks. Like my parents' flight got delayed coming back in from Mexico. I had some friends who are part of a startup to help build, bring clean water to the masses. An amazing and ambitious startup, and they partnered with the Cannes Film Festival, which is huge, right? But they were in Canada. Their flight got canceled out of Canada. They couldn't get another flight for a month. So they had to rent the last rental vehicle with US tags in Canada and drive all the way back down to Maryland from freaking Canada. And that's just one of the stories. I'm sure you guys have tons of stories. So it's just been a mess. Airlines have been a mess for a while. I remember we checked in on airline stocks, right, and how they had the position to run, and they have been pushing since then. So I personally didn't take advantage of any of that, but that was something I pointed out there on like American Airlines, how they had that hourly bull flag. They got that hourly bull flag breakout on Thursday, pushed to a high on Friday, and they tested that same high again. Or excuse me, I guess they got the breakout on what was Wednesday, pushed on Thursday, then kind of fell off, pushed it again on Friday, and now they're kind of testing that same hourly high. But if you took advantage of that analysis, that ended up paying you, right? There are a number of things where there's so many opportunities thrown out. Like I'm not going to take advantage of all of them. Nobody's going to take advantage of all of them, but there are so many that even if some fall through the cracks, there's going to be a few that pay you. So airlines are one of those things where when they do run, typically they run for a few days. Cruise lines, same thing, right? Cruise lines have been on a pretty crazy tear. I haven't personally indulged. It really started with CCL, like earnings and post earnings. They gapped down and then they filled that gap and just started to absolutely just crank out Green Day after Green Day. I'm not one to chase. So again, I'd rather catch you at the breakout than go ahead and say, hey, is this something that still has juice in it, right? We want to catch the thing that is yet to break out and ride that wave up. But let's see here. Now, in terms of automotive news, record deliveries, boom, 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 handily beating estimates. Tesla is powering higher before the bell today. Shares are up 6.5%. Money, 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 money. After the automaker registered record electric vehicle deliveries in the second quarter. In fact, the stock has more than doubled in value year to date, splitting analysts on what will come next. Quote, we remain celebrated on Tesla, and we believe its rally this year is not driven by fundamentals, investing group leader Tech Stock Pros warned prior to the delivery report, while Victor Durganov is doubling down on dip buying. Yeah, I mean, you guys know where I stand on Tesla. I don't need to beat a dead horse here. People have always been against it. Again, I'm not a Tesla stan. I'm not the guy that thinks Elon Musk is, the second coming or anything. But it's a company that's made itself invaluable in the landscape, and that's a company that I'm always going to be behind. In terms of media news here, a new tune. The music industry is set for another heavy structural change as the decade progresses. That's according to Goldman Sachs, which said the main players will need a coordinated response to hold on to sustainable growth and capture new opportunities. The 2030 growth outlook still remains strong, with Goldman raising its CAGR expectations for 2023 to 2030 through 2030 to 7.3%. Sorry, so basically they're just increasing their outlook and expectations. Stocks that are buy rated include Warner Music, which is WMG, and Live Nation, which is LYV. I don't think I've ever traded a music genre related stock. This hasn't been in the cards for me, so I don't really know. I mean, Live Nation, where they're on the cusp of a daily breakout potentially, right? So if you wanted that to be the first time you traded music related stock, if we get a daily close over 91.42 on Live Nation can push. It's probably just because they might be a little bit less liquid than other stocks. Like I like to play blue chip stocks, but the spreads don't look too bad on it. So definitely something to keep an eye on, right? They don't have as many strikes as we'd like. Looks like the soonest ones they have are 18 days out. It'd be nice if they had some for next week, but 18 days out isn't too bad. But yeah, something to keep an eye on there. Live Nation. And then what was the other one? Warner Music Group, WMG. They're also in the midst of a daily bull flag, but Live Nation looking a little bit better, a little bit closer to breaking out. They're right on the cusp than Warner Music Group. So yeah, something to keep an eye on there. There's a first time for everything. Could be a good opportunity there. Let's check. I mean, because these both have been beaten down here. Just doing some quick TA here. Mm, yeah, something to check out. WMG Warner Music Group has a potential. That daily bull flag is actually also a weekly bull flag as well. So maybe I'll go ahead and put a little alert on that bad boy, just for when we do finally close above. I'll take a look at it, check it out, and we can move from there. So it's 27.79 is that area on Warner Music Group. Nice. Weekly, we'll go weekly slash daily. In that level for Warner Music Group, 27.79 for Live Nation, LYV 91.42 really is that daily level that we'd like it to close over to get that breakout. So can set a little alert with that, and maybe that'll be our first time trading some music sector related stocks. Nice. All right. So in terms of today's markets here, mostly green across the board slash flat. What's SPY doing? What are you doing, friendly neighborhood SPY? Yeah, I mean, really pretty much flat. Where do we close that? Right there. Yeah, SPY pretty much flat in terms of where it's looking to open. So again, we closed like underneath. We rejected daily resistance on SPY on Friday. But overall in Asia, Japan, we're up 1.7%. Hong Kong, we're up 2.1. China, we're up 1.3. India up 0.8. The FTSE in London up 0.3. Paris up 0.2. Frankfurt up 0.1. The Dow down 0.1. S&P flat. NASDAQ up 0.2. Crude oil up 1%. Gold down 0.4. Bitcoin up 0.4. Today's economic calendar, we've got the PMI manufacturing index at 9:45 a.m. And then construction spending and ISM manufacturing at 10 a.m. So 9:45, 10 a.m. Right, we could see some effect on price action when we get that data that drops. In terms of what else is happening here, we can finish up with our rapid fire bullet point rundown. Apple exceeds $3 trillion market cap as analysts heap praise. Why is social media being blamed for fueling riots in France? Yeah, France has been going crazy recently. Twitter temporarily fixes limit on tweet users can read per day. AMC's ape conversion decision more than a week away. Nintendo's Zelda lifts video game sales in May. What's next for clinical research firms after pandemic boom? And then Israel to buy 25 more Lockheed Martin F-35 stealth jets in $3 billion deal. So LMT, right, looking good here. Industrials is a sector that I talked about last week, right? How I really like industrials and how we were looking. LMT is part of that sector. So that no doubt is good news for LMT, but also good for the industrial sector as a whole. When we check out LMT on the weekly / monthly, right, looking solid. Nice monthly bull flag, bounced off the Omega bounce zone there on the monthly. So looking good, in terms of what we got going on LMT. If we can get over that 500 level, right, 498.95, LMT looking very, very solid. But right now, been fighting sell-off, trying to claw its way back. Buyers have been trying to push it up. This might be something that, causes some positive price action. So you can keep an eye on it at open. Looks like on the hourly, we fired a nice hourly double bottom on LMT. And that could potentially feed into a daily double bottom if we can get over, what is that, 467.17. Yep. So if we can close over 467.17 on LMT, I'd like it to continue this push. You can mark that off, 467.17. Create alert withdrawing, crosses above, LMT testing, daily, double bottom breakout. Boom. Now we've got a number of things on our chart that we are locked and loaded, kind of looking at, paying attention to. This is a time where war tensions and everything escalating between the U.S. and China, Russia, and everywhere else. We have all these countries that have been historically neutral, like Switzerland, right, and all these other countries that are coming out and joining NATO, and they want U.S. missiles defending their nation, and that benefits companies like Raytheon, like Lockheed Martin, right, and General Dynamics. Now, pay hikes expected to remain high in 2024 amid labor shortages. UBS aims to skip $10 billion backstop from Swiss government. And then as Northeast U.S. air quality suffers, here are some potential stock ideas. I don't really care enough to check those out. That doesn't really seem like anything that would be substantive. We've got a lot of blue chips that are looking good and making positive waves, so I'm not going to be worried about speculation as much during this time at all. But I'm excited, guys. Excited to still finish out this week strong, right? It can be choppy. We can get some low volume because it's the holiday week. That's typically what we get. But, we'll continue to execute, push forward, and operate in patience. We had a banger Friday, right? A few hundred percenters that came through, looking to keep that momentum strong. But again, execute when is necessary, right? When it's necessary this week. Everybody have a great day. Be safe. Happy 4th of July. Throw a 4 in the chat for 4th. I'm going to go throw some hot dogs on the grill. They say that hot dogs can shorten your lifespan by 5 minutes. I'm probably about to knock an hour off my lifespan then because I do love me some grilled hot dogs. But everybody be safe. Have a great holiday, tomorrow. And I'll see you back here on, Wednesday. See you back here on Wednesday for our next pre-market prep session. Have a good one. Peace.